Hey guys, I wanted to get straight to the point with this video. These are my tips on how to work out with asthma. To start, my advice before you start any kind of workout routine whatsoever when you have asthma is to consult with your medical doctor. Just make sure, check in with them to make sure that you're actually capable of doing a workout. You know, there are different levels of severity when it comes to asthma, and depending on the kind of asthma that you have will depend on whether you can work out or not or how intense it is. So always consult with your doctor. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but I definitely want to, put emphasis on it. It's very important that you're working with the person that's helping with your treatment. All right, so my first tip that kind of goes in conjunction with that is if you are prescribed preventative medicine, emergency medicine, take your medication. Whatever the doctor prescribes you for your asthma, it's usually in your best interest. I know there are a lot of people who are against medication for various reasons, but when it comes to a disease like asthma, you have to take your medicine. Obviously, there are natural remedies that can help make your asthma better. So definitely seek those options. I personally have done things that have helped with my asthma besides my medication, but I would never advise someone to stop taking their medication completely without speaking to their doctor first. So with whatever natural and alternative remedies that you're doing, use that in conjunction with whatever your doctor prescribes. So tip number 2, drink lots of water. This is for everyone, but especially with people who have asthma. There's a lot of mucus that builds up in your airways, and drinking a lot of water will help eliminate that or lessen the amount that's in your airways. So drink a lot of water before your workout, during your workout, after your workout. Just in general, you should be drinking a lot of water. This will help move that mucus out. My third tip is breathing deeply. So I am a yoga instructor, if I didn't already say this on my channel, and when I went to my yoga teacher training, I learned how to breathe properly. A lot of people are not breathing properly whatsoever. Make sure you're breathing fully, so your chest, your ribs, and your stomach, they should all be moving. When you take your inhale, your stomach should expand, and when you exhale, it should contract. Usually we do the opposite way. We inhale and suck in our stomach, and then exhale, let it go. So just remember, inhale, expand, exhale, contract. My next tip and fourth tip, make sure you have your emergency medication with you. So even if you're not currently taking your preventative medicine on a daily basis anymore because your asthma is better, or even if you're feeling fine, it's always best to have your emergency inhaler or whatever your doctor prescribed to you on hand, just in case of an emergency, just in case something goes wrong when you're working out. You have a mild severe asthma attack, you have something as backup to help save your life pretty much. So don't leave the house without it. Bring your emergency medication with you to the gym. Okay, fifth tip is paying attention to your form. So people with asthma, especially myself, we tend to hunch our shoulders towards our ears, or just like really hunch our shoulders forward, and we're really tight in our chest and shoulders and neck. You need to really be mindful of our form when we're working out. Shoulders away from your ears, chest open. You don't have to stick your chest out, but just make sure that there's enough room so that when you are breathing, everything can flow nicely. Because if you put your shoulders up like this, it's already harder to breathe, whether you have asthma or not. If your shoulders are forward like this, it's the same thing. So you just want to keep this area open, shoulders down, just paying attention to your form when you're working out. My sixth tip is to work out at a steady pace. And when I say a steady pace, I feel like everyone with asthma should start off slow or light, depending if you're doing cardio or if you're weightlifting. You should start from the bottom and then slowly work your way up to a pace or weight that you feel comfortable with. I never suggest, especially if you're new to working out and you have asthma, to just pick a random number out of your head and say, okay, I'm gonna do this weight or I'm gonna run this fast. You should just start slow and then work your way up so you can know what your limit is, so you know what your baseline is, so you're not just going there and doing something that can possibly hurt yourself or cause your asthma to flare up. So tip number 7, take adequate breaks in between your sets. So this is another thing. Recovery time for people with asthma can be a little longer. So you should always time your recovery. So for instance, if I'm doing shoulder presses, I tend to do 4 sets of 10. That just means 4 rounds of 10 reps. After I've done my 10 rep, or my 10th rep, I rest. How long you rest depends again on your level and your capability and where your asthma is. I always suggest to time it so you can track your process to see if your recovery time is lower than before, and just to time it so you can know exactly how long your recovery time is currently so that you can stick to that rest schedule in between your workout. Resting is so important. Oftentimes people in general, not just people with asthma, tend to do their workout or do a set and then they take their break. They don't even time it and then they just start again. And sometimes it's too soon. You didn't really recover from your first set in the first place. So taking time, slow down if you need to in between your sets. Just make sure you're paying attention to that. 8th tip is limit your dairy consumption. Now, if you're vegan, you don't have to worry about this, but if you're anything besides vegan and you eat dairy, you know, milk, cheese, and eggs and things like that, you should limit those because it is scientifically proven that dairy can induce mucus and a lot of mucus can induce your asthma. So you should lower the amount that you're eating currently or eliminate it completely, and that should help improve with mucus buildup and in the end help improve your asthma. Suggestions to start if you are not a vegan or if you're not a vegan is meatless and dairy-free Mondays or vegan Mondays, so where you have 0 dairy products. Another tip I can give you for that is if you are still eating dairy and cheese on the days that you're going to work out, you should not have those things. Or closer to your workout, you shouldn't have the dairy, milk, and cheese or anything like that. You just eliminate it as much as you can. Being vegan is one of the best diets for people with asthma because it automatically eliminates those products. But if you're not there yet, or if you're transitioning, or if you don't want to, it's still in your best interest to lower your dairy consumption or eliminate it because of your asthma. There are a lot of dairy products right now there are a lot of dairy-free products that are super delicious that I can link in the description box below. So if you're having trouble finding a milk alternative or ice cream alternative, cheese alternative, anything like that, yogurt, all of that, I'll put some links of things that I've tried and that I actually like in the description box. And I'm actually going to have this as one of my snacks today. It's the So Delicious Coconut Milk Yogurt. These are good. This is the 4th flavor I've had. So this is one of the things that you can have instead of dairy yogurt. You can have something like coconut milk yogurt. My next tip would be working out in the cold. So extreme temperatures tend to affect people with asthma, especially the cold. So if you're working out outside or you're working out somewhere that's really cold indoors, just make sure you have a scarf that's wrapped around your neck and something that probably covers your nose and mouth so that the air is warm when you're inhaling. So just dress for the weather. Same thing, again, if it's super duper hot outside, dress accordingly, and it kind of goes back to one of my other tips, make sure you bring enough water, make sure you bring your backup medication, and all of that. Paying attention to the weather is very, very, very important. My next tip is work out in a place where allergens are very low. So if you're looking for a gym or if you're part of a gym, make sure you pick a place that is regularly cleaned. It's not a gym that's neglected because you don't want to inhale dust and debris and all kinds of things when you're working out. And if you're working out at home, the same thing. Just make sure the area you're working out in is free of dust. If you have pets, free of pet hair. Make sure the air quality is good. So if you have to open your windows during your workout, just make sure all of those things are getting attention from you, because allergens can be a trigger to your asthma. And my next tip and last tip is basically eliminate things that aren't working for you. There are gonna be some workouts that you just aren't gonna be able to do because of your asthma, and that is okay. There are so many different kinds of exercise that not doing one thing, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. You can find something else that works just as good or even better than the exercise you can't do. Don't really focus on the things you can't do. Focus on the things you can do. That is the most important thing, because when you have something that holds you back like asthma, it's very easy for you to, compare yourself to others and think that you're not doing it as good as they are, but none of that matters. Your health matters and your own personal journey matters. So just do what you're actually capable of doing. Now, there is a difference between just saying you can't do something simply because you're being lazy, you just don't want to do it. But if there's something that you really physically cannot do because of your asthma, don't do it. Do what you can do and focus on the things you can do. Focus on the things you like to do also. Aside from all of that, just stick to your routine. Working out improves your lung capacity. It will, over time, improve your asthma as well. That doesn't mean that you will be cured, because as of now, there isn't a cure for asthma, but you can improve your quality of life by working out. Working out and eating healthy will always make your body function in a better way, which will in turn improve your asthma, whether drastically or slightly, but any improvement is a good thing. Hopefully these tips were helpful. I mean, these are some of the things that I think help me when I work out with asthma. Hopefully it can help someone who's interested in working out, because I know a lot of people who have asthma are afraid to work out because they're afraid that they're gonna have an attack or an episode or something like that. But if you follow my tips, if you start from the bottom and then work your way up and just take care of yourself, you shouldn't have an issue. But my first tip is the most important one: consult with your doctor first. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.